The fuck would that get me? But that was a good trip for us too, by the way.
A good family Vegas trip?
Yeah, it's a good thing to do as a married person, to just sort of like, my mother-in-law watched our kid and we came out there, and it's hilarious.
That's nice, like dates.
Yeah, and but we immediately go right back to like, me and my wife have like ridiculous chemistry, laughing like just totally on the same wavelength, and it just fucking resets. And I'm learning now, like, you gotta, just with the day-to-day and dealing, you know.
Do you guys do date nights? Do you do a lot of date nights?
Yeah, probably not enough. It's like everything. Do you work out? Yeah, not enough. Do you eat well? Yeah, not enough. And then your relationship becomes like the same way. And I've finally gotten out of my stupid fucking, die on every hill, fucking argue everything, I'm getting out of that, and I'm starting to understand, how to do it.
That you're not in competition with your wife. That's what you got to understand.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But then there's also that she's also human, so everything she says isn't right. So you just have to pick.
Yeah.
You got to pick, because I'm not going to be that guy where it's, happy wife, happy life.
Oh, those guys are done.
I watch whatever TV she wants to watch. I'm envious of them.
Are you?
Because they have the smoothest fucking life, never lose their house. They're just like this. They're like a fucking, those big doorman buildings where I got a package for you, Mr. Rogan? Like, you become that in the relationship. You should just wear like the bell cap and something like that. You know what I mean?
Yes.
Those lifer doormen.
Yeah.
They're like in a union.
Neutered.
Yeah. I'm not saying there's anything wrong with being a doorman before everybody in a fucking uniform gives me shit. Yeah, they're like, you become like that in the thing. But no, we came back and last night, before we went to bed, my wife was like glowing. She was like, I had the best time. And we barely did anything. We just fucking hung out laughing, You
appreciate that a lot more once you have kids, because you realize, like, this is a rare moment. This is hard to do. It's hard to get away.
Yeah, it's hard to connect while someone's going, I want a popsicle. Yeah. I want a red popsicle.
So, just recalling with a friend on the phone a couple days ago, history of an event that happened. My daughter was there, my ex-wife, and they were complaining about the patriarchy and why women need to aggressively challenge the patriarchy and why it's so awful. And, so I was like, yeah, but, everybody in the world, including men, including American men, envy the position of American women. There's nothing in law that is degrading women. Women actually who have the same qualifications as men make more money than men. If you're comparing apples to apples, same experience, same training, same dedication to work, as many days taken off or as few days taken off and everything else. Women, apples to apples, make more than men. Women graduate college more often than men. 96% of work-related deaths are men. 92% of prison inmates are men. Men commit and succeed in suicide 400% more than women. 25% of suicides are women, or 23% or something like that. And something like 77% of suicides are men. Men are drafted for war, women are not. When it comes to custody of children, court cases, family matters, women always come out on top, or at least more often than not come out on top. So when they were like, the patriarchy, I was like, I am the patriarchy. What are you talking about? And I don't do any of that shit to women. I don't oppress women. And they got offended that I would declare that I'm the patriarchy, as if that's some negative thing. Listen, at the point where that conversation was happening, I was pointing out my ex-wife was the matriarch, right? She was the leader of the family. She was a female. That makes her a matriarch. I'm the leader of the family. I'm a male. That makes me a patriarch. There's nothing sinister about it. And, I'm not the oppressive, 1% that makes more money than everybody else in the world that just happens to be more men than women. By and large, most men don't make a lot of money. Most people don't make a lot of money. But in that rare category of the 1% of high income earners, it is a propensity to have more men making more money than everybody else than women. But, that doesn't really account for the demographics of income earners. You know, most men and women are pretty equal. And if women aren't equal, it's because they take a lot of time off for childbearing and caring for children, or they choose jobs that just don't pay as much, whether in medicine, where women choose nurturing jobs like pediatrician and nurse. You know, men choose brain surgeon and heart surgeon. You know, I mean, it's not that women couldn't do those things. It's just they choose more nurturing jobs that pay less because there's less money to be paid for those services. There's less demand and, you know, more supply for what the women provide compared to what men often provide. So anyway, my whole point was that, you know, throughout recent history, certainly patriarchy isn't a dirty word. Men have less benefits than women by far in Western society. But beyond that, and she was like, yeah, but what about all the leaders? And what about, you know, historically where women were oppressed and treated like property? Well, I'm going to play you Karen Strawn. I'm going to play you Christina Hoff Sommers. I'm going to play you Camille Paglia, right? These are feminist writers, academics, scholars that can set that record straight. But, you know, as Karen Strawn had commented, you know, when men would beat their wives, they would get the whipping post, you know, all the way back into the 1600s. When women would beat their husbands, the men would get punished. They'd get drawn around in a cart or, you know, put backwards on a donkey to get rotten fruit thrown at them just for letting their wives abuse them. So it was damned if they do, damned if they don't. They couldn't hit their women. They'd get beat up. They'd get the whipping post. They couldn't let the women abuse them, or they'd get, you know, rotten fruit thrown at them at the town square. And this is in many, many cultures. And so my ex-wife didn't agree with that. She's like, oh, that was only in one little local region. That wasn't, you know, by and large. I was like, no, that's Western society. That's a lot of European countries. And that was also in the United States, or pre-United States, before the United States became the United States. That was all the way back into the 1600s. And then she's like, yeah, but by and large, more men have been rulers than women have been rulers. I'm like, I'm going to show you dozens of women rulers all the way back. I mean, you can go all the way back to Cleopatra. You can go back through all these monarchies in Europe too. Many women rulers, queens that had no king and ruled alone, and even made females their successors. So anyway, I just want to make these points because people have the wrong view of the patriarchy. There's a patriarch and there's a matriarch of every nuclear family, of every family that has a husband and a wife, a mom and a dad. There's a matriarch and there's a patriarch. I don't think the patriarch or the patriarchy is a dirty word. And this is why. And so here's my videos that I wanted to follow up with.
Years and dissidents seen in the culture and in the news media these days, right? These are not just what's the government doing. This is a feminist, it's a tool from feminism that you can now apply to any kind of analysis. So those are two examples I would give.
That's great. Karen, it looked like you wanted to jump in there.
I did. You know, like, honestly, in 1904, Theodore Roosevelt started a campaign to bring back the whipping post. And he wanted to bring it back as a punishment exclusively for men who beat their wives. And the reason he wanted to use the whipping post to punish men who beat their wives was because if a man was jailed for wife battering, his wife might suffer hunger or want. And if he was fined for wife battering, she might suffer hunger or want. Okay? But if he got 30 lashes at the public post, he could still go to work the next day, and he could still support her, right? Now, we have this idea that before feminism came along in the 60s and 70s, that domestic violence against women was completely socially acceptable. Now, I don't understand how one can come to that conclusion when the President of the United States wanted to bring back corporal punishment, which had been banned, right, in most states at that time, exclusively to punish men who batter their wives. And especially since the treatment in communities for men who were battered by their wives, of which there were many, and you can see friezes and artwork from the 1600s and the 1700s that show women battering their husbands with their rolling pins and their skillets and all of that. Robbie Burns' Ode to a Henpecked Husband, all of those things. There were women who were abusive to men at that time. And the treatment that the community gave those men was either the Skimmington Ride, which was the practice of the community coming around the house at night and beating pots and pans and screaming and throwing things at the house to shame him for allowing himself to be beaten by his wife. Or they put him on a donkey backwards, holding its tail, and rode him around the town square and or strapped him to a cart and threw rotten fruit and vegetables at him to shame him for allowing his wife to beat him. Okay? And these things have been just quietly erased from modern scholarship and modern accounts of history, right? Back when we thought it was okay to beat your wife, right? When we thought it was okay to beat your wife, at least when it was extremely egregious, particularly egregious, we'd strap the guy to a whipping post and give him 30 lashes. When your wife was beating you, right, it was you that got punished by the community, right?
It was unbelievable. These women were fighting for the right to become the men they've always hated. Just walking around with their shirts off, fucking whoever, not worried about the kid. I'm like, are y'all feminists or fuckboys? What is this shit?
I don't know. I gotta get my act together, man. I'm really at a critical point in my life, you know? I am. I'm serious. I'm a fucking psycho, man. I realize this about myself. Like, you know, I'm not married, you know? And I'm really getting to that critical age where, you know, pretty soon I'm just, you know, I gotta pick a street. Either I'm gonna get married, you know, or I'm just gonna be that creepy old guy hanging out in a bar, you know, red chest hair hanging out. No, seriously, I don't know what's wrong with me. I think I just stayed single too long, man. It's just brutal. There's this critical point when you stay single too long, then when your brain switches from, you know, like, you know, don't say that to her. Fuck it, say it, see what happens. Dude, and once you cross that line, the evil that just opens up, it's just, you know. I don't know, you know what? I just find women that just like, I think they're great. I don't want this to come off like, I don't want to come off here like I'm some woman hater, because, you know, I know I'm a psycho, but it's just like, I don't know, I just find them to be like relentless. Just every day, they just got to come at you. They just wake up, they have an agenda, and so they're like these psycho robots that never run out of batteries, and every day they just keep fucking, just keep coming at you, right? You got to deal with that every single day. Hey, honey, and you literally, you know, every day, it's like waves hitting the beach, you know? Every day, just eroding a little more your life away, you know? Just waking up inch by inch, you know? Every day, just... Why are you hanging out with him? He drinks too much. Where'd you buy that? That's ugly. Throw it out. Till one day, you're just hanging out in the middle of a lagoon, just floating there with your baseball cards. You're waving to your friends back on the shore. Dude, get me tickets. I still like sports. Oh, here she comes. Here she comes. Hey, honey, how you doing? No, I'm trying to learn how to pick my battles with my girl, you know? That's what I am, you know? I used to argue all the time. I'm just trying to pick the battles. Some days, they come at you. You just gotta let them go. You just let them go and follow them to whatever dumb shit they want to do. Like, hey, let's go get a picnic. We'll have a picnic. You bring the good bank and you fucking... Then other days, you just gotta get your hand up. You just gotta just create this perimeter, something for them to bounce off, like... You just send that psycho energy in another direction. Buy yourself a couple of hours for freedom before they bounce off something else. And they start coming back. Go see my parents. No, they're relentless. They never stop. And there's no reason for them to stop. You know why? Because you can't hit them. That's what it is. Think about that. There's no physical ramifications for being an asshole when you're a woman. Do you know how much of a dick I would be if it was socially unacceptable to kick the shit out of me? Dude, I would be trashing everybody I saw. See some big muscle-bound guy, hey, I go to the fucking gym. Slap his protein shake out and say, hey, go fuck yourself, right? But I can't do that, right? Every guy has a line, and if I cross the line, I get blasted in the face. Totally acceptable, right? But with women, there's no line. They can just keep fucking, just keep coming at you. Dude, they can do stuff worthy of like a suplex, and they'll just stand right next to it. They don't even have the decency to run away. They'll like light your clothes on fire. They're like, ta-da, I did that shit. Oh yeah. And I was so proud of my work, I stuck around to see your reaction. I invited a couple of friends to heckle you as you tried to stomp it out with your bare feet. Oh yeah, they'll like key your car, sign their name. Susan did this shit. You're sitting like, now, can I at least put her in a headlock, give her a couple of... Now, I feel bad for women that you never get to feel that. You guys should do it to each other, you know, just every once in a while. Just haul off and just blast one of your friends in the face, you know. It's good for you. No, I know, yeah, I know. It hurts, you know, you can't feel your nose, your ears are ringing, but I'm telling you, man, it clears your head. And it causes you to, like, evaluate yourself. I swear to God, anytime I ever got punched in the face, I was always pissed, but at some point during the drive home, I'd always be thinking, like, you know, I was kind of being a dick back there, you know? When I really think about it, I probably shouldn't have said that last shit, you know? And you like, make that adjustment. This guy's an asshole. I can't believe he's just gonna say this kind of... Actually, my girl punched me in the head on Valentine's Day a few years ago. Yeah, you want to hear this story? This is a great one. This is how much of a dick I am, that I can actually tell a girl I love her, give her a card, and somehow at the end of the night, she's still blasting me in the head, you know? I can't even remember what happened. All I know is she said some shit, then I said some stuff, then she said some more stuff, and I said, fuck it, I'm going for big air. I said the last shit, and next thing you know, she just came flying at me, right? Fist balled up. Okay, and at first she was just hitting me all in here, you know, which is acceptable, right? It's a holiday, let's fucking keep it nice, you know? Let's keep it nice, right? And I gotta admit, I was blocking most of it at first, right? I was doing the rope-a-dope. I was leaning back, I was pulling her head in, I was leaning on her, talking shit, trying to tire her out, right? And then all of a sudden, she just went up top, fucking wham! It just hit me right in the side of the head. You know what hurt the most was not that she hit me, was that after she hit me, she didn't have the decency to hop back, like maybe something was gonna happen. She knew nothing was gonna happen. It's against the rules. So not only did she get to blast me in the head, she then got to do like this UFC talking shit thing in my face, just pointing. Oh, it was brutal. Then she started like breaking up some stuff, you know, of course it was all my stuff, and I'm just standing there, okay, don't look her in the eye, stand as still as you can, let her calm down. Oh, that's great, that's something mine from high school. That meant a lot to me. Evidently not to you. It's funny, if I was doing that shit, I'd have a cop with his knee in my back, but evidently you have a vagina, so that makes it okay. I just have to stand here as you break all my shit.